Hi, everybody. I felt like doing this as a little tester because this is what I do for myself at one point every day is I check the planets. I always like to know where everything is. I give reads for people and I like to be able to just sort of know right off the top of my head if they have a conjunction or something's, if I know where all the planets are, then I can tell them what they're going through and I know your chart. That's how I work. We're going to start over with that. Hi, everybody. I'm experimenting in ways to assist everybody on social media with updates about the astrology. And I'm also going to throw a few cards, but this is basically what I do for myself every day. So I thought, well, why don't I just film what I do for myself? And what I do for myself on pretty much a daily basis is I check the chart of the moment, which basically means where all the planets are currently in the sky in the moment that I'm checking. And I always like to keep an update of where everything is. Wow, we have Mercury at 0 degrees Sagittarius, which is interesting that I'm starting this at 0 degrees Sagittarius. 0 degrees usually in a chart means, brand new beginnings. It's when the sign, when the planet goes into that sign, it's the initiating point. And in a birth chart, it can often represent someone who's going to change the world and wherever that 0 degrees kind of shows up in your chart. So I love 0 degrees. It's an exciting time to have. It's an exciting thing to have in your chart because in some way, shape or form, you're going to break the mold. Henry VIII had 0 degrees in his Venus and he invented divorce. Jennifer Aniston has 0 degrees in Mercury and she broke the Guinness World Book of Record on the fastest amount of followers on Instagram in the shortest amount of time. She started her Instagram feed. I think in 2 days, she had like multi-million followers. So it broke a record. So we have Sagittarius today coming in at 0 degrees, Mercury transiting into Sagittarius today. So people are going to be very chit chatty. It's a very talking energy. And plus we have the sun in Sagittarius right now. Plus we have Jupiter moving into Pisces soon, but in Vedic, it's moved out of Capricorn. So your Sagittarius, if you know any Sagittarians right now, they're going to be awfully chatty and you may not know it because you may not know your full chart, but you probably have Sagittarius in your chart somewhere. Most people do. And Sagittarius covers every sign covers one of your houses in your chart. So with Mercury in Sagittarius today, let's look at all these little things here. Let me just see. We have Saturn squaring Uranus, but things are remarkably peaceful really on a day-to-day. But in the world, in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of protests going on right now, which is very Saturn squaring Uranus or Uranus squaring Saturn, whichever way you want to look at it. And then you see there's Saturn at 8 degrees Aquarius and there's Uranus. So really, it's Saturn moving up into Uranus. But Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, which means that everybody has Taurus somewhere in your chart. So whatever house Taurus covers is where you're going to be experiencing financial progression in this time that Uranus is in that house for you, in that Tauran house. I'm starting to become financially independent because Uranus is a financial independence and I'm finding my financial independence through social media in the 11th house. Taurus covers my 11th house. So if you want me to look at your chart to help you figure some of these things out, just DM me or email me, MadelaineParker111@gmail.com. I love to study charts and I pull cards around things as well, love and romance and work too. In fact, I'm going to pull a couple of cards on this because I am going to upload this on my Instagram feed, possibly my YouTube too. I get the Hierophant, which is a Taurus energy. The Hierophant represents Taurus in tarot. And then I got the Three of Wands, which is really about the future. So we are looking, and then I get the Knight of Pentacles, which is all about financial progression, steady, stable financial progression. Really, that is in alignment with our emotional center because that's what needs to happen right now in order to be able to sort of progress in areas that we can sustain for the long haul. It needs to be something that's connected with our soul and that's in our soul's truth and that's who we authentically really are, because that's all we can't sustain the others, the superficial, very long. And this is about, we've got the south node right now, because look, you can see the north node is at 1 degree Capricorn, the south node, sorry, 1 degree Gemini, the south node is at 1 degree Sagittarius. So there's the north node. Let me just take a look at the north node really quick. There's the north node, and it's coming into, the south node is coming into Scorpio, and the north node is going into Taurus, which means that's why I put the Hierophant card, which represents Taurus in tarot. We are looking at stabilizing, creating stable structures, and sort of, you know, creating a new foundation where we're all going to sort of be stable in order to really kind of create some of these changes that are occurring. But we're sort of stabilizing and creating structure. And you're going to see with Taurus, North Node and Taurus for the next 2.5 years, that we're really focused on our finances, but stabilizing security, something that's also pleasing. Taurus is very pleasing, and also it will be abundant. It will be good. You will be financially independent in whatever path you're sort of trudging along, which may feel like it's just sort of hard work, because that is the Taurus energy. It's the earth. It is a grinding energy. It sometimes feels like you're not really going very far, but actually you are. And if you were to look back at where you were at the beginning of when Uranus went into Taurus, which was 2018 at 5, it was May 15th, because that's when I bought my property. And since then I bought a property at that point, and since then it's completely shot, you know, in value. It's really high of value. So these energies with Uranus in Taurus, we're shifting and changing the way we create our finances to become more financially stable and independent. So something about as soon as that North Node joins Taurus along with Uranus, we're really stabilizing things for the long haul, creating this, we're structuring this new change. And so you're going to find grounding decisions being made that create long, like moving, changing homes. Now we have this eclipse coming in, by the way, on the 3rd of December, which is in the sign of Sagittarius. It's going to be about 12 degrees Sagittarius. So, you know, that's going to be adding in, the sun's going to be in Sagittarius at that point. The moon's going to be in Sagittarius at that point. Mercury is going to cazimi Sagittarius and sun. Mars is still going to be in Scorpio. But we're having Jupiter moving very closely. Where's Jupiter? Jupiter is going to move, it's getting much closer to Pisces, and it's going to move into Pisces mid-December. And that's going to shift the energies very dramatically for the favor. And this is going to be a wonderful energy, because this is at the end of the Sagittarius Gemini eclipse that started, this cycle started, I think, 2.5 years ago. And so now we're really seeing the sort of end of this, the resolve of all of these changes, like, and Jupiter is good luck. This is a ruled by Jupiter eclipse. So things are going to expand. It's going to be good luck. Finances are going to be better. And the more Jupiter gets into Pisces, everyone, that's going to be awesome time for finances. Somewhere Pisces covers your chart. So wherever Pisces covers your chart, it's going to be a very good year for you, whatever subject that is. And maybe one day I'll come on and describe each individual house so you can understand that for yourself, because I actually might start sort of doing this in a little way as a teaching tool too. Because I have, on my chart, I have some planets in the 9th house indicating teacher. So I'm going to pull a moon card on this really quick. Oh, actually, you know what? I want to pull one more tarot card. And I'm just kind of developing my own little way of helping it. And it's coming onto social media. I'm trying to find my way. I haven't found it yet. So in case you can tell in my social media. So, you know, we're looking at trusting the process, even though it doesn't really seem completely there. And it can feel a little bit scary, because it's sort of like with Jupiter going into retrograde, coming forward again, and shadow, it's like things are stopping, and feels like it's going, then it's not. And then it feels stuck. And then it feels like, well, is this happening or is it not happening? Well, it is happening. And we just got to hang in there. We're these transitions that are happening in the planets, these transits that are happening in the planet, and these planets coming up for the eclipse. I'm going to do another one of these for the eclipse, but you know, we're really looking at new ideas, new ways of communicating. That's exactly what I'm doing, which is why it's so funny that I'm doing this on a 0 degree Sagittarius. I'm sun sign Sagittarius, so that would make sense. So I hope, look, if you've watched this and you think this is interesting, look, Sun conjunct Mercury too. We're having a Sun, Cazimi, Mercury, which I think that if I played this back, it might be a little all over the place. It might be a little jumpy, and that would be Sun conjunct Mercury. And I even think Mercury in Sagittarius is a little bit of a jumpy energy, a little bit of an all over the place. I'm still going to post it because it's something I want to explore, and I don't mind any feedback, because my intention is to come on here and help everybody understand what's going on, and to help you see the long sight, the bigger vision of it, so that you can understand. We're focused on the 3D, focused on the micro, and there's a macro going on here in the astrology, which we can stand back and look at and see the bigger picture, basically. So that's why I love astrology. It helps us see the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is always just great. It's the little picture, the mundane, the little things that we're focusing on in life, the third dimensional things that pull us out of the bigger picture. And then studying astrology and doing tarot, it pulls me back into the macro picture. And so I'm not going to get into these oppositions, but we do have the nodes opposing the sun right now with Mercury and Cazimi. So I would say that we're finding a balance between our ideas and our communications that are Gemini, that are Jupiter ruled, because Sagittarius is Jupiter ruled. So it's for the expansion of humanity, for the greater good of all. And we're going against, potentially, we're finding a balance from our true mission and our true purpose. And it's in the last sign, because the North Node right now is still in Gemini, right? The North Node here is still in 1 degree Gemini. It's going to shift into Taurus at the end of the month. But we're still communicating a little bit in the old ways, but getting new ideas about the new ways. But there's a balance between the two. There's always a balance in an opposition. So we're sort of redirecting our purpose and clarity around how we're going to communicate and take our purpose forward. Ideas about how to take our purpose forward, which is exactly what I'm doing here. So thank you for watching this. Let me know what you think, and I will do this again soon. All right, namaste.